Hey David, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you, Joan?
I'm fine. Doing just fine. And our, what are we doing? We're a little bit isolated right now, but it's okay. We're getting a lot done.
Good. I am self-quarantining, I guess, like everybody else, and hanging out with Leska Dog and having fun here.
You're learning some great new tools and skills for teaching your students at Texas A&M. And
Yeah, fortunately, I don't have to do that until the summer, but I am already beginning that process of thinking about what I'm going to do. And yeah, life is going to be a little bit different.
so one of the things that you always like to say is that the world is a dynamic place and things change, and it's
Beautiful.
happened.
Yeah, it's happened in a more noticeable, dramatic way than it usually does, but yeah, it's happened. And it's forcing people to think in new directions, and it's forcing people to move away from their comfort zones, and change always induces stress in people. So a lot of people are very stressed out right now. And that's understandable, not a surprise, but also not necessarily anything to let us become too pessimistic about.
Yeah, and one of the things that I've been thinking about is how so many people, most of us, right, when we're stressed out, we don't always make the best decisions. We might get a little bit rash or move too quickly and not really think things through. And so as you and I have been talking about the need for people to slow down and think about their circumstances now and think about how the world has changed, and maybe think about ways that they can create new kinds of value with their businesses, or personally if they're facing having to look for a new job or those types of circumstances. And so I wanted to kind of use this platform to let you talk about the V-Roll framework and how people can use it now, and then we'll talk about how we can all get together using great technology to have a conversation and form a community that can help one another, just to think about how to create value and how to navigate a whole new world.
Yeah, I have had several people contacting me from various places over the last few days asking about how to grapple with a new environment, and I continue to keep pulling people back to the VREO framework as a way to help focus their thinking. Um, the VREO framework was meant originally to be a teaching tool, but then it became over time more of a consulting, mentoring, advising tool as well as a teaching tool. And I think if people keep those five principles in mind, it will really help them focus on the important things that are true regardless of what happens in the world around us. Number one, you always are needing to find ways to bring new value to life in this world. And boy, we really need that right now. We need people thinking about how to create new value for others. And we also need to think about creating value in unique, rare ways that others around us are not able to do. I can do X, you can do Y. Okay, so let me do X and you do Y. And I will be great at X and you will be great at Y. We also need to be thinking always about the eroding factors in the world. And this is something that is, suddenly glaringly apparent to everybody in the world. There are risks, there are eroding factors that are going to work against the way that we create value, the way that we do things, the way that we live our lives. Um, and to be a realist, and I try to be a realist, you've got to think about those risks. And you've got to prioritize them and understand them, and try and grapple with the ones that are most critical. And then we always have enabling factors around us. We always have things that will help us, and one of the things that I said today in another conversation with some friends who are doing a podcast, all of the things did not disappear in the world. They're still there. All of the buildings are still there. The people, are still there. Everything is still there. We just need to figure out for the foreseeable future new ways of using all those things, to put in new ways to enable us to create value in very rare, distinctive ways. And then longevity, thinking about the long term and what the world looks like and how what we're doing today is going to last or not last, and how we can make things last longer and everything. I mean, those 5 principles just come back over and over and over again. And I don't want people to think they're a magic bullet or a crystal ball or anything like this, but my goodness, they can help you focus on the key critical things that you need to focus on in a time where there's so much uncertainty and so much change. Let's keep ourselves focused on the right stuff. And you mentioned about wanting to have a community. We've had people talking about this. We've been thinking about this for actually a fairly long time now, of having a value creation community. People who share, people who question, people who think creatively about bringing new value into the world, and giving each other the tools to help do that. And I think now is a great time to try and bring that into life. We've got a lot of bright people in this world. We got a lot of people who know VReal, who use VReal in various ways, in various parts of their jobs or their businesses or their personal careers or whatever. So let's start trying to provide a place for them to come together and share those things. So I'm all for that. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I really like the idea of being able to bring together the people who are already using VReal, but then also those people who just need it, right? Who are
Yeah.
finding themselves kind of floundering, not quite sure what to do now. Or maybe they're working through a new business idea, but it feels unsteady for a lot of people for good reason right now. So um, I'm excited to be launching the VReal community with just a simple meetup starting later this week. We'll have a meetup on Thursday in the evening at 8:30, and then again on Friday at noon.
Mm-hmm.
And we will just be getting together to have a conversation and talk things through, answer questions that people may have. Not just about VReal. It's really not about VReal. It's about creating value. VReal is a tool to help people think things through. And so really looking forward to having anybody really join us. You don't have to already know about VReal. People can come in who are just trying to think through ideas for their businesses, whether it's an existing business, or if you see an opportunity, you're trying to start a new one, or if you find yourself lacking a job. A lot of people are losing their jobs right now,
Yeah.
and that's devastating. And there is opportunity. There is always opportunity. And so helping people discover that with a very simple language and framework is something we really look forward to. So we'll provide that link to where to register for those events here soon. And we'll look forward to having you join the value creation community.
Okay. Well, I hope those who are seeing this brief little video will consider becoming part of that community. And of course, we're trying to be here to help more than anything else.